Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it.
And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. It's quite literally 3 concentric circles, a bullseye. In the middle is why, and the center ring is how, and the outside ring is what. I always like to joke that because I use a paper and a pen, I don't have AV problems. I have one. Let me define the terms. Every single organization on the planet knows what they do. These are the products we sell, the services we offer. Some know how they do it. Whether you call it your differentiating value proposition, your proprietary process, your USP, these are the things you think make you different or special or stand out from the crowd. But very, very few people and very, very few organizations can clearly articulate why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make money. That's a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose, what's your cause, what's your belief? Why does your company exist? I mean, do we really need another one? Why did you get out of bed this morning? And why should anyone care? As a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. We tell people what we do, we tell them how we're different or how we're special, and we expect some sort of behavior, a vote, a purchase, support. But not those leaders and not those organizations with the capacity to inspire. Every single one of them, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, thinks, acts, and communicates from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple frequently because they're easy to understand and we all get it. If Apple were like everyone else, a piece of communication would sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. This is normal. This is how most organizations communicate. You know, here's our new car. It's got tinted windows, great gas mileage, leather seats, choose us. Here's our law firm. We've got all the best lawyers, we went to all the best schools, we win all of our cases, we work with some of the largest companies, hire us. Here's how Apple actually communicates. They start with why. Here's what they say. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? It's totally different. It actually feels different. No trickery, no manipulation, no celebrity endorsements. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it starts to show us is that it's not what you do that matters, it's why you do it. And people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply serves as tangible proof of what you believe. This is the reason why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable with the idea that Apple sells computers and DVRs and phones and all these other products. MP3 players. Apple is not unique. Every single one of their competitors, pick one, it doesn't matter. Every single one of their competitors is equally qualified to make every single product that Apple makes. Apple does not have a lock on any of the resources. Everybody has equal access to the same talent, the same consultants, the same agencies, the same resources, the same media. It's a zero-sum game. The difference is their competitors have defined themselves by what they do. We make computers. Apple has defined themselves by why they exist. To challenge the status quo, to give the individual the opportunity to stand up to Big Brother, to give the individual the ability to do their own thing. And everything they say and everything they do proves what they believe. A few years ago, Dell, a perfectly good company that makes perfectly good products, came out with MP3 players. They are every little bit qualified to make these products. The difference is, nobody bought one. We couldn't imagine buying an MP3 player from a computer company, but we do it every day, because it's not what you do that matters, it's why you do it. And what you do serves as the tangible proof of what you believe. For this little thing to work, you have to have 3 things. 1, you have to have clarity of why. If you don't know why your company exists, how will anybody else? 2, you have to have discipline of how. You have to hold yourself and your people accountable to your own guiding principles and your own values. And thirdly, you have to have consistency of what? Everything you say and everything you do has to prove what you believe. At the end of the day, we live in the tangible world. At the end of the day, the only way people will know what you believe is if you say and do the things you actually believe. This is the concept behind authenticity. People are always telling us people prefer to vote for the authentic candidate. They prefer to buy from the authentic brand. What does that mean? What that means is those people in those organizations say and do what they actually believe. That's all that authenticity means. You have to say and do what you actually believe. And the reason is simple. The reason the human race is so successful is not because we're the strongest and not because we're the smartest. It's because we're social animals. It's because we have the ability to form cultures and communities. What's a country? It's a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. You know, what's a culture? It's a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. What's a neighborhood? It's a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. What's a company? It should be a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. When we're surrounded by people who believe what we believe, something remarkable happens. Trust emerges. Make no mistake of it, trust is a feeling. Trust is a human condition. Simply doing everything you say you're going to do does not mean people will trust you. It just means you're reliable. We all have friends that screw up sometimes, and yet we still trust them. Trust is born out of a common set of values and beliefs, and it is absolutely essential for our survival. Because when we're surrounded by people we trust and who trust us, we're more willing to take risks, we're more willing to explore, we're more willing to experiment, which requires failure, all with the confidence that if we turn our backs, go away, or fall down, someone from within our communities will watch our backs, watch our stuff, and help us up when we fall down. Absent trust, we still have the will to survive, but absent trust, it's every man for himself. And it becomes selfish and destructive, and we act more and more and more short-term. Great organizations are not the ones that outperform necessarily every quarter. Great organizations are the ones that in hard times, people come together. You want to know why Lehman Brothers failed? Lehman was exceptionally good at what they did. They were exceptionally good at how they did it. But at the slightest shimmy, the whole thing collapsed. Not in months, not in weeks, in days. Great organizations in hard times come together. It's like the quality of a crew. We cannot judge the quality of a crew when the seas are calm. We cannot judge the quality of a company when the economy is good. Just because they're making money is no indication of how strong the organization and how strong the culture is. However, when the seas are rough, how good is the crew? Do they run to each other's aids, or do they jump off the ship, all with the same thing? Every man for himself. Got to look after numero uno. Got to pay the bills. Got to feed the family. Got to survive. Great organizations, the people sacrifice themselves for each other. In the military, they give medals to people who are willing to sacrifice themselves so that others may gain. In business, we give bonuses to people who are willing to sacrifice others so that we may gain. We have it backwards. This is not my opinion. This is grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, but biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain evolved into three major sections that corresponds precisely with this little idea. The outside area is called our neocortex. It's our Homo sapien brain, responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. This is why you can't ask your customers, why do you do business with us? Why do you love us? They can't tell you, because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. This is where gut decisions come from. There is no part of your stomach that controls decision-making. And it's not in your blood, and it's not in your bones, and you're not following your heart. We ascribe it to different parts of our body because the part of our brain that controls language doesn't control decision-making. And it's not an accident that we use the verb to feel to describe gut decisions. I know all the data says we should do that, but it doesn't feel right. That would be biologically accurate. The part of the brain that controls feeling controls decision-making. This is also the reason why the question, why do you love your husband or why do you love your wife, is a difficult question. Why do you love your wife? I don't know. That's where most people start. You've been married for 15 years and you don't know why you love your wife, you know? She's smart, she's fun, I can trust her, I've known her forever, you know? Sounds like a golden retriever, right? And then we start saying things that don't even make sense, right? She completes me. Don't know what that means, right? I have a left arm and a left leg, she's got a right arm and a right leg, together we make one. I don't even know what it means. What we're attempting to do is verbalize the feelings we have towards a person or an organization with the part of the brain that doesn't control language. And so we make things up, we rationalize, or we actually say things that don't make sense. How many of you love your Macintosh computer or know someone who loves their Macintosh computer? Okay, they always put their hands up so quickly, they're always so excited. You can always tell people who love their Macs, because when you try to explain to them rationally, based on facts and figures, they actually bought substandard computers, they start foaming at the mouth. Right? But rationally speaking, that's exactly what happened. Rationally speaking, based on facts and figures, Macs are at least 25% more expensive than their PC counterparts, sometimes double their price. There's less software, there's fewer peripherals, and they're absolutely slower. I mean, there's nothing faster about them. I have one, and I get that spinning beach ball of death all the time, right? The difference is, Apple's not selling us one of these, they're selling us one of these. Because Apple is so clear about what they believe, so disciplined how they do things, and so consistent in what they do, it gets the point that their computers serve as a symbol of a set of values and beliefs. Those people who love their Macs didn't buy it just for the product based on the rational sensibilities and the rational differentiators. They bought it to demonstrate something about who they are. This is why Mac lovers love opening their computers in airports. Right? People with PCs don't open their computers in airports. They don't care. It's just a commodity. It's just a computer. And sometimes you see a PC with an Apple sticker. That's somebody telling you, my office gave me the computer. This is not really who I am. It's a symbol for who they are. Because you see, our survival depends on our ability to find people who believe what we believe. And because the part of the brain that controls behavior doesn't control language, we rely on stories and symbols and all of these things to help communicate who we are. This is why authenticity matters. Because if you say and do the things you actually believe, you will attract people who believe what you believe. If you lie, people will be drawn to the lie, but we will start to figure out that you don't actually believe those things, and so we don't trust you. This is why we don't generally trust politicians. Because when we sit down and evaluate all the things they tell us, yes, rationally speaking, all of their opinions happen to align completely perfectly with all the beliefs I have, but we know that they're not telling us things that they actually believe. And so we don't trust them. Trust is a very, very important thing. Our survival depends on it. We're highly, highly attuned to it.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been